I would like to talk to you a little bit about voice. But our story starts a little earlier, on June 29th, 2007. Looking back on it, this is the day the world changed. At the time, we really didn't know it, but a little over 11 years ago, something happened that affected everybody in this room. So what made today so special? Apple launched the iPhone, and the smartphone was born. And the smartphone has affected everybody and every step on the customer journey. Today, it's how we become aware, how we find out information about products and services, how we purchase, how we service, how we communicate, and how we are entertained. But I want you to cast your minds back to this time. The iPhone was just a phone with an email platform. It had a few productivity apps, and no one thought it was actually a very good phone compared to their Nokias and their Motorola's. In fact, I want to remind you of what the tech critics said about the iPhone. The iPhone is nothing more than a luxury bauble that it will have appeal to a few gadget freaks. In terms of its impact to the industry, the iPhone is less than irrelevant. So criticism of new technology is nothing new. So think twice when you hear criticism of technology like voice. Now, I've been around for some time, and when I would tell clients, this mobile thing, this is really big. You should be changing your experiences and leveraging this new and exciting possibilities. And they would show me charts like this. Yep, 3 years after the launch of the iPhone, mobile commerce was only 1.8% of digital commerce. It was still a desktop world. No one could have predicted that in 10 years it would be almost a quarter of all commerce and going to rise. Today, there are over 230 million smartphones in the US, and over 70% of the adult population own one. But I believe there's another date that we should pay attention to. November 2014. Almost 4 years ago, a device that has been a poster child of voice has arrived. The smart speaker. Now, we've been talking to our smartphones a little longer than that, since October 2011 with Siri and 2012 with Google. So we've had the ability to talk to our devices for over 7 years. And today, almost 20% of American adults have access to a smart speaker. During the 2017 holidays, it was the top-selling product on Amazon.com. Amazon claimed they were selling millions of Echo Dots and Echoes per day. So, voice is not really as new as we think. In 2018, there are over 100 million smart speakers from tech companies like Apple, Google, and Amazon. But this is not just a US phenomenon. Well, if we look globally, we'll see significant players like Samsung, Baidu, Alibaba, all investing in smart speakers and voice. So much so that the smart speaker market is expected to be 220 million units by 2022. But it's not just the smart speakers. Voice is coming to our automobiles, TVs, fridges, and into our homes. So let's look at smart speaker adoption. It's faster than any technology to date. 50% of all US households are expected to have one within 5 years. This is faster than the smartphone. So it looks to me that voice looks very much like the rise of the smartphone. So what are consumers doing with their smart speakers? If we look at the top of the chart, it's asking questions, listening to music, that are the predominant behaviors. But if we look at the bottom, we can see transactions that made in the purchase. Now remember, when mobile first started, it was a very small 1.8% of digital commerce. If we look at what's happening in voice, 26% of all smart speaker users have made a purchase, and 11.5% make purchases every month. Currently, the voice purchases are estimated to be around $2 billion a year. In the summer, I was fortunate to attend Voice 18 in Newark, New Jersey. Over 2,000 attendees from brands like Mercedes-Benz, Panasonic, Prudential, Intuit, and Barnabas Health, and keynotes from Google, Amazon, and Yext, all were discussing how voice was affecting their business. This conference was revolutionary. I have never been to a conference with so much energy and excitement about a technology. And there was one theme that came across. There's these two major categories in voice: voice search and voice applications. And companies and brands will have to pay attention to both. This stat blew me away. According to ComScore, in 2 years' time, 50% of searches will be with voice. Now consider this, what this could mean for your brand. You don't control the user interface or the AI layer. So suddenly, all this traffic that's coming to your website and your mobile apps doesn't come anymore, because the answer is coming straight back from the smart speaker. So what's going to happen to those investments you're making in those platforms? Voice applications. In the last year, there's been an explosion in actions and skills. Alexa has over 30,000 skills, 5,000 new in the last quarter, and 6x since 2016. Brands, companies, entrepreneurs are all innovating on this new platform. To me, it reminds me a lot of the initial mobile app development areas. There's going to be many failures and many things that are unsuccessful, but there are likely to be a few big winners. So you might ask, why would I build a skill if customers aren't buying with voice yet? I believe we should look back to the early days of mobile and look at convenience and service-based tasks to experiment with. One such example from one such company is Capital One. This has been a leader in voice applications, and they've imagined a world where you can use your voice to understand your financial accounts. Their first voice skills focused on convenience and customer service. Transactions, like checking your account balance, your available credit, your due dates, and maybe even making a payment or two. But it's not just fintech. Hotels like IHG, which we heard from this morning, and Marriott are adding smart speakers into hotel rooms to manage in-room equipment. Can I turn on those lights, change the temperature, but also to answer questions from room service and housekeeping requests. Domino's allows you to order a pizza with your voice, track its preparation and delivery. While with Starbucks, they will let you can order that latte that you're just about to pick up. But finally, I'd like to talk about one example that combines the power of voice, AI, to create the next generation of voice experiences, the virtual assistant. Bank of America's Erica, recently launched, combines the voice and text to allow you to manage your financial needs by asking questions to a powerful chatbot. This new application has already surpassed 3 million users in the last few months. So think of this. No going to Google, clicking on the results, no global navigation to understand, pages to navigate through, marketing copy to wade through. You just ask. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say voice is already here. Consumers are already adapting their behaviors to leverage this medium, and they're bringing it into their kitchen, living rooms, bedrooms, automobiles, and offices. Some of the biggest companies in the world, like Amazon and Google, continue to invest in new hardware, natural language processing, and AI platforms. This has been estimated to be over $5 billion a year. Voice commerce is starting to pick up, driven by replenishment and reordering. $2 billion today, but estimates of $40 billion by 2022. There's been an explosion of skills that are moving voice into new domains and applications not yet imagined. Voice is being added to consumer products, from cars to headphones to kitchen appliances, and I believe there's even a microwave. The integration of voice into multimodal experiences with voice, gesture, and screens has already started. So let's imagine November 2024. 10 years after the launch of the smart speaker, I expect to see voice as ubiquitous as smartphones today. We will have intelligence agents that will book our appointments, manage our finances, schedule our travel, or curate our entertainment. Today, we live in a voice-first world, but I would like to be the first one to welcome you to the voice-first world. Thank you very much.